Welcome to the Sleep Outpost. If you enjoy drifting off to sleep with stories like this, hit subscribe so you never miss a new one. Now, settle in, take a deep breath, and let tonight's journey begin. Tonight, let the world you know grow quiet. Let the noise of the day drift away from you like smoke carried on a breeze. You do not need to hold on to anything right now. You do not need to remember or plan or decide. All of that can wait. All of that belongs to another time, another waking hour that is not this one. Right now, there is only this story, only this gentle voice, and the soft, steady rhythm of your own breathing. Let your body settle. Let your shoulders drop. Let the weight of the day slide off you like a cloak unfastened at the throat. You are safe here. You are warm, and there is nowhere else you need to be. So let us begin. There is a valley, very far from here, that few people have ever seen. It lies cradled between ancient mountains whose peaks are so high they seem to hold up the sky itself. The mountains are old, older than memory, older than names, and their slopes are blanketed in forests of silver birch and blue spruce, trees that have grown slowly and patiently over centuries, their roots threaded deep into the cool, dark earth. In the late afternoon, when the sun begins its long, unhurried descent toward the western ridge, the light in this valley turns to gold. It pours like warm honey across the meadows, across the wildflowers that nod gently in the breeze, lavender and chamomile, and pale evening primrose. And it touches the surface of a narrow stream that winds through the valley floor, turning the water into a ribbon of molten amber. This is the hour when the world begins to soften. The birds that sang all day are settling now, tucking themselves into the branches, their songs growing quieter, slower, like lullabies murmured to the fading light. A few last notes hang in the air, the low, fluting call of a wood thrush, the gentle cooing of a morning dove, and then even those sounds dissolve into the hush of evening. You are standing at the edge of this valley, at the place where the meadow meets the foothills, and you can feel the coolness of the approaching dusk on your skin. It is pleasant, this coolness. It carries the scent of pine needles and damp moss and something else, something faintly sweet, like starlight would smell if starlight had a fragrance. The air is clean and soft against your face, and each breath you take fills you with a quiet, spreading calm. Take a breath now, if you like. A slow one. Let the air come in gently through your nose and feel your chest rise, and then let it go, just as gently, just as slowly. There is no hurry. There has never been any hurry in this valley. Ahead of you, at the far end of the meadow, the foothills rise in gentle steps toward the higher mountains. And there, perched on a broad shelf of granite near the top of the nearest peak, you can see a building. It catches the last of the sunlight and seems to glow from within, a warm, amber glow, like a lantern left burning in a window. The building is round, with a domed roof that gleams faintly, and even from this distance, you can see that it is beautiful. It is made of pale stone, the color of moonlight on sand, and its walls are carved with patterns that seem to move and shimmer in the changing light. This is the Observatory of Aelindra. You have been walking toward it for a long time, though the walking has not been difficult. The path has been gentle, winding through the meadow at an easy pace, and your feet have found their way without effort, as though the path itself were guiding you. And now, as the sky deepens from gold to rose to the first soft bruise of violet, you begin to climb. The path becomes a staircase, broad, shallow steps cut into the living rock of the mountainside. The stone is smooth beneath your feet, worn by centuries of gentle footsteps, and it is warm from the day's sun. Each step carries you a little higher, a little closer to the observatory, and with each step, the valley below grows softer, hazier, wrapped in the quiet blue of twilight. You are not tired. Your legs carry you easily. The climb is more like floating than walking, each step lifting you as though the mountain itself were breathing you upward. And as you rise, the air grows cooler and sweeter, and the first stars begin to appear, faint, tentative pinpricks of light in the deepening sky, like the first notes of a song that has not yet fully begun. Let your eyes close if they wish to. Let the image of this place settle behind your eyelids like a painting rendered in soft watercolors. The violet sky, the pale stone steps, the warm glow of the observatory above you, patient and welcoming. You are almost there. The staircase curves gently as it nears the top, following the natural contour of the mountain, and with each turn, the observatory grows larger before you. You can see it clearly now, the smooth, pale walls rising from the granite shelf, the dome above catching the last threads of sunset, the tall, narrow windows through which a soft, golden light spills out onto the stone terrace. The terrace is wide and open, bordered by a low wall of the same pale stone, and beyond the wall there is nothing but sky. The valley has disappeared into the blue darkness below, and the mountains across the way are now only silhouettes, soft, rounded shapes against the deepening indigo of the east. Above everything, the sky is opening like a great, dark flower, and the stars are brightening, one by one, as though someone were lighting candles in a vast cathedral. You step onto the terrace and feel the smoothness of the stone beneath your feet. The air here is cool and still, and it carries a faint sound, a low, musical humming that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. It is not a mechanical sound. It is more like the resonance of a crystal bowl or the sustained note of a cello played so softly that you feel it more than hear it. The sound is warm and steady, and it seems to vibrate gently in your chest, in your bones, in the quiet spaces behind your thoughts. Let that sound settle into you now. Let it become part of the rhythm of your breathing. In and out, slow and steady. The humming and your breath moving together like two streams flowing into the same quiet river. The door of the observatory stands before you. It is tall, much taller than you, and made of a wood so dark it is almost black, polished to a deep, lustrous shine. Set into the wood are thin lines of silver that trace patterns you cannot quite follow, spirals and curves, and delicate branching shapes that might be constellations, or rivers seen from very high above, or the veins of a great, ancient leaf. The lines glow faintly, pulsing with a soft, rhythmic light that matches the humming in the air. You do not need to knock. The door is already open, just slightly, just enough to let a sliver of golden warmth fall across the threshold and touch your feet. You place your hand against the dark wood. It is smooth and faintly warm, like sun-warmed driftwood, and you push gently, and the door swings inward without a sound. The warmth welcomes you first. It is not heat, not the sharp warmth of a fire or the heavy warmth of a summer afternoon. It is gentler than that. It is the warmth of a blanket drawn over your shoulders on a cool evening, the warmth of a cup held between both hands, the warmth of a voice you trust saying your name. It wraps around you as you step inside, and you feel your whole body soften in response, your muscles releasing tension you did not know you were carrying. Let that happen now. Let your jaw unclench. Let your hands go loose. Feel the warmth of this place flow into your shoulders, your neck, the small muscles around your eyes. You are held here. You are welcome. The interior of the observatory is one great circular room, and it is more beautiful than anything you have ever seen. The walls rise high and curve inward to meet the dome, and every surface is covered in the same delicate silver patterns you saw on the door. Spirals and stars and flowing lines that seem to move slowly, like reflections on still water. The floor is made of dark, smooth stone, inlaid with concentric rings of silver that radiate outward from the center of the room like ripples from a pebble dropped in a pond. And at the center of the room, bathed in a light that has no visible source, stands the Loom. You have never seen anything like it. It is enormous, as tall as the room itself, reaching from the floor to the base of the dome, and it is made of a dark, gleaming wood that seems to drink the light and give it back as something softer, warmer, more alive. The frame of the Loom curves and branches like a great tree, and strung between its arms are hundreds, no, thousands of threads, each one as fine as a spider's silk, each one glowing with its own faint, steady light. The threads are the colors of stars. Some are the warm gold of distant suns. Some are the cool blue of young, bright stars burning in the far reaches of the sky. Some are the deep red of ancient stars, stars that have burned for billions of years and are now glowing with a patient, tired warmth. And some, the finest, the most delicate, are the pale silver of starlight itself, the light that travels across unimaginable distances to arrive, finally, here in this room, on this loom, to be woven into something beautiful. Breathe gently. Let the image of the loom fill your mind like a slow tide rising. There is no hurry. There is no urgency. Only the soft glow of 1,000 threads of starlight and the low, warm humming that fills the air like music. She is sitting at the loom when you first see her, and she does not look up. She does not need to. She knew you were coming long before you arrived. She felt your footsteps on the stone stairs, felt the gentle disturbance of air as you crossed the terrace, felt the soft click of the door's silver latch as it settled back into place behind you. She knows everything that happens on this mountain, because the mountain is part of her, and she is part of the mountain, and neither of them keeps secrets from the other. Her name is Aelindra, and she has been here for a very long time. She is old, older than the observatory, older than the staircase, older perhaps than the mountain itself. But she does not look old in the way you might expect. Her face is smooth and calm, with high cheekbones and a wide, gentle mouth that holds the ghost of a smile. Her eyes, when she finally raises them to look at you, are the color of the sky at the moment just before the stars appear, that deep, luminous blue that is almost purple, almost black, but not quite either. Her hair is long and silver white, and it falls around her shoulders like water, catching the glow from the loom and holding it in soft, shifting highlights. She is wearing a robe of deep indigo, so dark it seems to absorb the light around her, and across its surface, faint patterns move and shift, constellations, you realize tiny pinpricks of light arranged in shapes you almost recognize. Orion's belt, the curve of Cassiopeia, the great wheeling arm of the Milky Way. They drift across the fabric like reflections on a dark lake, and you understand, without being told, that this robe is not merely decorated with stars. It is made of them. She smiles at you, and the smile is like dawn, slow, warm, unhurried. It does not demand anything from you. It does not ask you to smile back, or to speak, or to explain why you have come. It simply welcomes you the way sunlight welcomes a garden, the way rain welcomes the earth. Sit, she says, and her voice is the quietest sound you have ever heard that was still, somehow, perfectly clear. It is like the voice of the stream in the valley below, soft, continuous, flowing over smooth stones. Sit and rest and watch. That is all you need to do. There is a chair near the loom, low and wide, with a cushioned seat and a high back that curves around you like an embrace. You do not remember seeing it before, but it is there now, as though it has always been there, waiting for you. You lower yourself into it, and the cushion receives you softly, molding itself to the shape of your body, supporting every curve and hollow. It is impossibly comfortable. Your back sighs against it. Your arms rest on the wide arms of the chair, and your hands go still. Let your body settle now the way you would settle into a chair this comfortable. Let every muscle find its resting place. Feel the support beneath you, firm and gentle and perfectly shaped to hold you. There is nothing to resist, nothing to brace against, only softness and warmth and the quiet, steady humming of the loom. Aelindra turns back to her work. Her hands move over the threads with a slow, fluid grace that is mesmerizing to watch. She does not hurry. She does not fumble or hesitate. Each movement is precise and unhurried, like the movements of a dancer who has performed the same dance 1,000 times and finds, in each repetition, something new to love. She selects a thread, a warm, golden one, and draws it gently across the warp of the loom, passing it over and under the other threads in a pattern that is too complex for you to follow, but that you can feel, somehow, in the rhythm of the movement. Over, under, over, under. The shuttle in her hand moves like a small, bright fish swimming through a reef of light, and where it passes, A new pattern emerges in the fabric. A cluster of golden stars arranged in the shape of a cup, or a chalice, or a flower about to open. The humming of the loom deepens as she works, and you realize that the sound is not coming from the frame or the mechanism. It is coming from the threads themselves. Each thread is vibrating with its own faint note, and as Aelindra weaves them together, the notes blend and harmonize, creating a sound that is almost, but not quite, music. It is too slow and too simple to be music in the way you usually think of it. It is more like the sound the earth would make if you could press your ear against it and hear its heartbeat. Close your eyes for a moment if you like and just listen. Listen to the humming of the starlight as it is woven into cloth. Listen to the soft whisper of thread passing over thread. Listen to your own breathing, slow and deep and steady. Everything here moves at the same pace: the loom, the light, your breath, the slow turning of the stars outside the dome above you. Everything is connected. Everything is one rhythm, one pulse, one long, slow exhalation of peace. After a while, you are not sure how long, because time moves differently here. Like honey pouring from a jar, Aelindra pauses in her weaving. She sets the shuttle down on the loom's broad wooden ledge, and it rests there, glowing faintly, like a sleeping firefly. She turns to you, and her eyes are kind, and she says very softly, "Would you like to see what I have made?" You nod, though you are not sure you actually move. The intention is enough. She rises from her seat, slowly, gracefully, like smoke rising from a candle, and she extends her hand toward a doorway you had not noticed before. It is set into the curved wall of the observatory, a low, arched opening hung with a curtain of deep blue velvet that shimmers with the faintest suggestion of stars. You stand, and standing is easy, effortless, as though the chair itself is lifting you gently upward, and you follow her toward the doorway. She parts the curtain with one hand, and a soft light spills through, warmer and dimmer than the light of the loom, and you step through into a space that takes your breath away so gently that you barely notice it leaving. This is the Hall of Finished Skies. It is a long, curving corridor that follows the outer wall of the observatory, and it is lined, from floor to ceiling, with tapestries. They hang from slender silver rods, each one separated from the next by a narrow column of pale stone, and each one is a masterwork of such beauty that you could stand before any single one for hours and still not see everything it contains. Breathe slowly now. Let your gaze drift from tapestry to tapestry the way you might drift along a quiet river, letting the current carry you without effort. There is nothing you need to study, nothing you need to memorize. Just let the beauty wash over you like warm water. The first tapestry shows a summer sky, a deep, velvety blue scattered with the bright, familiar stars of a July evening. You can see the Milky Way arching across it, a river of soft white light, and the stars are not merely dots of color on the fabric. They glow. They pulse with a faint, living light, as though each one is a tiny sun burning behind the weave of the cloth. And as you look more closely, you see that the threads that make up the dark blue of the sky are not blue at all. They are thousands of shades of indigo and violet and midnight and cobalt, woven together so finely that they create the illusion of a single, infinite depth. The next tapestry shows an autumn sky, darker, deeper, with the great constellations of the fall standing out in bold arrangements of gold and amber and deep orange. Cassiopeia sits high in the northeast corner, her W shape picked out in threads of pale, cool starlight. Below her, the great square of Pegasus floats in a field of the deepest blue-black, and the Andromeda galaxy is a soft, luminous smudge near the center. A cloud of light so delicate it seems to be made not of threads at all, but of actual mist, actual light, trapped somehow in the fabric and still shining. Aelindra walks slowly ahead of you, her bare feet making no sound on the stone floor, and the hem of her robe trails behind her like a dark tide, and the tiny stars on its surface drift and rearrange themselves as she moves. She does not speak. She does not need to. The tapestries speak for themselves in a language older than words, a language of light and color and the vast, patient silence of the cosmos. You pass a tapestry of winter, the cold, crystalline stars of December and January blazing in a sky so dark and clear it seems to go on forever. Orion stands at the center, his belt 3 perfect points of blue-white fire, his sword a faint, glowing smudge where new stars are being born in clouds of luminous gas. Sirius burns below him, the brightest star in the sky, its light a fierce, diamond white that softens, in the tapestry, to something almost tender. A single, brilliant point of warmth in the vast cold of space. And then a spring sky, softer, gentler, the stars of March and April shining through a faint haze that suggests warmth returning to the air. Leo the lion sprawls across the southern sky, his mane a curving line of golden stars, and Virgo rises in the east, holding her single bright star, Spica, like a lantern lifted to guide travelers home. Let your breathing slow even further now. Let each exhale be longer than the last, just slightly, just enough to feel the deepening calm spreading through your body like warmth spreading through cold hands held over a fire. You are safe in this hall of beautiful things. You are surrounded by the light of stars that have been shining since before the earth was born, and they will go on shining long after everything you have ever worried about has been forgotten. There is comfort in that. There is peace. At the end of the Hall of Finished Skies, another curtain hangs, this one the color of moonlight, a pale, silvery white that seems to glow from within. Aelindra pauses before it and turns to you, and her smile is so gentle, so full of quiet knowing, that you feel something in your chest loosen, some knot you did not know was there, some tension you had been carrying for so long that you had forgotten it was not a part of you. This is where the threads are born, she says, and her voice is barely a whisper now, soft as the sound of snow falling on snow. She draws the curtain aside, and you step through into a place that is half room, half garden, half sky. The thread garden is open to the night. The dome of the observatory does not extend here, or perhaps it does, but it has become transparent, so that the ceiling is the sky itself, the great, dark, star-filled sky arching overhead in all its impossible vastness. The air is cool but not cold, and it smells of night-blooming jasmine and damp earth and the clean, mineral scent of stone after rain. The garden is terraced, descending in gentle steps from the doorway, where you stand to a still, dark pool at the center. Each terrace is planted with something you have never seen before, slender, luminous plants that grow not from soil, but from the stone itself, their roots finding purchase in the crevices between the flagstones, their stems rising in delicate, curving lines toward the open sky. And at the tip of each stem, where a flower would be, there is a single drop of light. These are the threads, or rather, these are the threads before they become threads. Each drop of light is a captured piece of starlight, light that has traveled across the universe for millions of years, crossing the vast, dark spaces between galaxies, passing through clouds of cosmic dust and the gravitational fields of distant suns, until it arrived here, at this mountain, at this garden, where it was caught by the luminous plants and held gently at the tip of a slender stem, waiting to be gathered and spun into thread and woven into the great tapestries of the observatory. Aelindra moves through the garden with the ease of someone walking through her own home, which of course she is. She bends to touch one of the plants, and the drop of light at its tip trembles and stretches, elongating into a thin, bright filament that she draws out between her fingers like a strand of silk from a cocoon. It is golden, the warm, deep gold of a late afternoon sun, and as she draws it out, it hums, a single, pure note that hangs in the air like perfume. Let that note settle into you. Let it vibrate gently in the space behind your forehead, in the hollow of your throat, in the place where your ribcage meets. It is a sound that asks nothing of you. It does not want you to understand it or respond to it. It simply is, the way the stars simply are, the way your next breath simply is. Let it be. She moves to another plant and draws out another thread. This one a cool, pale blue, the color of ice in shadow, the color of the sky at the very top of the atmosphere where the blue becomes so thin it is almost white. It hums too, a different note, higher and clearer, and the two notes together create a harmony so simple and so beautiful that you feel your eyes grow heavy with the pleasure of hearing it. You may let your eyes close now if they have not already. The garden will still be here. The lights will still glow. The notes will still hum. And Aelindra will continue her quiet work, gathering threads of starlight from the luminous plants, spinning them between her gentle fingers, coiling them into soft, glowing skeins that she carries back to the loom. You do not need to watch. You only need to listen and breathe and let the peace of this place sink into you like rain sinking into dry earth. The pool at the center of the garden is perfectly still. Its surface is so smooth and dark that it reflects the stars above with perfect clarity, and for a moment, looking down into it, you cannot tell which stars are real and which are reflections. It does not matter. Both are beautiful. Both are light. Both are doing what light does, traveling, arriving, being seen, and then moving on endlessly, patiently, without complaint or effort. A soft breeze moves through the garden, stirring the luminous plants so that their drops of light sway gently, like lanterns on a ship in a calm harbor. The breeze touches your face and your hands, and it carries with it the faintest scent of something you cannot name, something that reminds you of every safe, warm place you have ever known. Your childhood bed, a grandmother's kitchen, a quiet room where someone you loved was sleeping nearby. The breeze carries all of these and none of them, and it passes over you like a benediction, and then it is gone. You are back in the main room of the observatory now, though you do not remember walking back. Perhaps you were carried, the way a leaf is carried on a stream, without effort, without intention, simply arriving where it was always going to arrive. You are in the chair again, and it is even more comfortable than before, if that is possible, and the warmth of the room has deepened into something almost liquid, something that flows around you and holds you the way warm water holds a stone on a riverbed. Aelindra is at the loom again. She has new threads now, the ones she gathered from the garden, and she is weaving them into the tapestry she was working on when you arrived. Her hands move with that same slow, fluid grace, and the shuttle passes back and forth, in a rhythm that is as steady and as soothing as the ticking of a clock in an empty room or the lapping of very small waves against a dock on a windless night. Back and forth, back and forth. Let that rhythm find you now. Let it synchronize with your breathing. Each pass of the shuttle is a breath. In, the shuttle moves to the right. Out, the shuttle moves to the left. In, out, right, left, back, forth. There is nothing else. There does not need to be anything else. Just this rhythm, this movement, this breathing, this peace. The tapestry is growing under her hands. You can see it taking shape. Slowly, the way a garden grows, the way a river carves a valley, the way understanding dawns in a quiet mind. The pattern she is weaving tonight is unlike any of the ones you saw in the Hall of Finished Skies. It is not a map of the sky as it is. It is a map of the sky as it dreams of being. A sky imagined by the stars themselves, arranged not by gravity and distance, but by affinity, by harmony, by the deep, wordless connections that exist between all things that shine. A golden star is placed beside a blue one, not because they are near each other in space, but because their lights complement each other, the way two notes complement each other in a chord. A cluster of red stars is woven into a spiral, not because they orbit a common center, but because their ancient, tired light tells a similar story. A story of endurance, of patience, of burning slowly and steadily for billions of years without complaint. You do not need to understand the pattern. Understanding is not what is being asked of you right now. What is being asked of you is much simpler than that. You are being asked to rest, to be still, to let the sound of the loom and the movement of the shuttle and the glow of the threads carry you, gently, 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 into a place where thought grows thin and quiet and transparent, like ice melting at the edges of a pond in early spring. Let your thoughts thin now. If a thought comes, and thoughts will come, the way clouds come and go across a clear sky, let it pass. Do not hold it. Do not examine it. Do not follow it. Just notice it, the way you might notice a bird flying overhead, and then let it go, and return your attention to the rhythm of the loom. Back and forth, back and forth. The light in the room has changed. It is softer now, dimmer, as though someone has turned down a lamp. The silver patterns on the walls have slowed their shifting, and the glow from the threads on the loom is gentler, less like firelight and more like moonlight, less like waking and more like the luminous edge of sleep. Everything in the observatory is settling, the way a landscape settles under snowfall, slowly, quietly, each surface receiving its covering of softness without resistance. Aelindra's hands are slower now too. The shuttle moves more gently, with longer pauses between each pass. The humming of the threads has deepened into something you feel rather than hear, a vibration in the stone floor, in the arms of the chair, in the bones of your hands and the hollow spaces in your chest. It is the sound of the mountain breathing. It is the sound of the earth turning, slowly, steadily, carrying you and everyone you have ever loved through the dark, warm, star-filled night. Time has become a river here, and you are floating in it. Not moving, floating. The current is so gentle that there is no sensation of movement at all, only the softest, slowest drifting, like a feather settling through still air, like a thought dissolving into sleep. Aelindra is speaking. Or perhaps she has been speaking for a while, and you are only now becoming aware of it, the way you become aware of rain that began while you were dreaming. Her voice is so quiet that it seems to come from inside you rather than from across the room, and the words she speaks are not words in any language you know, and yet you understand them perfectly, the way you understand music, the way you understand the feeling of sunlight on closed eyelids. She is telling you about the stars. Not facts about the stars, not their temperatures or distances or chemical compositions. Those are things that belong to waking, to study, to the active, seeking mind. What she is telling you is something else. She is telling you what the stars feel. How it feels to burn for 1 billion years in perfect silence. How it feels to send your light out into the darkness, not knowing if anyone will ever see it, and not needing to know. How it feels to be part of something so vast that the word vast itself is too small to hold it. It feels, she tells you, like peace. Like the deepest peace you can imagine, multiplied by the number of stars in the sky, and then deepened further, beyond imagining, beyond the reach of words, into a silence so complete that it is indistinguishable from love. Let that settle over you now like a blanket. Let that peace, the peace of the stars, wrap around you the way the warmth of this room has wrapped around you, the way the cushion of this chair has molded itself to your body, the way the humming of the loom has woven itself into your breathing until you cannot tell where one ends and the other begins. Your breathing is very slow now, very gentle. Each breath is a long, soft wave rolling up a dark beach and sliding back again, leaving the sand smooth and clean and gleaming. You do not need to think about breathing. Your body knows how to breathe. It has been doing it since the moment you were born, and it will go on doing it tonight, steadily, faithfully, without any effort from you at all. Aelindra is weaving again. The shuttle moves so slowly now that you can barely see it move. It is like watching the minute hand of a clock. You know it is moving, but the movement is too slow to see, too gradual to track, and so you stop trying and you simply trust that it is moving. The way you trust that the earth is turning, the way you trust that tomorrow will come. The pattern on the loom has changed again. The stars she is weaving now are dimmer, softer, farther away. They are the stars at the very edge of the visible universe, stars whose light has been traveling for so long that it has grown tired and red and faint, like embers in a fireplace at the end of a long evening. They do not blaze. They do not sparkle. They glow with a patience that is beyond anything you have ever known, a patience that has no beginning and no end, a patience that simply is, the way silence simply is, the way sleep simply is. Let your muscles soften. Let every fiber, every cell release whatever it is holding. Your feet are heavy and warm. Your legs are heavy and warm. Your hands are open and loose, resting on the arms of the chair like leaves resting on still water. Your shoulders have dropped so low they seem to have melted into the cushion beneath them. Your jaw is soft. Your tongue rests gently against the roof of your mouth. Your eyelids are closed, or if they are not, they want to be, and you may let them close now, gently, softly, like curtains drawn across a window at the end of the day. The loom is singing to you now. Not in words, not in melody, but in a vibration that is deeper than sound, a resonance that comes up through the stone floor and through the frame of the chair and into your body. And it fills you the way water fills a vessel, slowly, completely, leaving no empty space, no hollow, no void. The tapestry on the loom is nearly finished. You can see it in the dim, moonlit glow of the room, a vast, dark, beautiful cloth that shows the entire night sky, every star in its place, every constellation drawn in threads of living light. But it is not a map. It is not a chart. It is something more intimate than that. It is a portrait of the night, the way a painter might paint a portrait of someone they love, capturing not just the features but the essence, the feeling, the soul. And as you look at it, or as you feel yourself looking at it, because looking and feeling have become the same thing here in this place at this hour, you realize that the tapestry is not just showing you the night sky. It is showing you the night sky as it sees you. The stars are looking back. They have always been looking back. Every night you have ever stood outside and tilted your head up and felt that quiet, ancient wonder, the stars were looking back at you, and they were feeling the same thing. The same wonder. The same quiet recognition. The same slow, wordless love. You are part of the tapestry. You have always been part of it. Your light, the light that shines from inside you, the light that you carry without knowing you carry it, is woven into the same fabric as the light of every star. Aelindra knows this. That is why she smiled when you arrived. That is why she did not ask your name or where you came from or why you were there. She already knew. She could see your thread in the great pattern, glowing softly, steadily, in its own particular color. A color that is yours alone, that no other thread in the universe shares. Breathe in and feel that light inside you. Breathe out and let it soften. Breathe in and feel it warm. Breathe out and let it spread through your chest, your arms, your hands, your fingers, until you are glowing faintly, gently, like one of the threads on the loom. You are part of this. You are woven in. You belong here in this night, in this quiet, in this peace. Aelindra's hands are nearly still now. The shuttle rests on the ledge of the loom, and her fingers move only occasionally, making the smallest adjustments, tucking a thread here, smoothing a surface there, the way a gardener might tend a garden that is already beautiful, not because it needs tending, but because the tending itself is a form of love. The humming has grown so quiet that it is almost silence. Almost. There is still a vibration, still a resonance, but it has sunk so deep into the fabric of the room, into the stone walls and the wooden frame of the loom and the air itself, that it has become indistinguishable from stillness. It is the kind of silence that is not empty, but full of warmth and presence and the accumulated peace of countless nights spent in this room, at this loom, doing this quiet, beautiful work. The light continues to dim. The stars outside the dome, the real stars, the ones burning in the actual sky above the mountain, are the only light now, and they are gentle, so gentle, scattered across the darkness like seeds scattered across a field, each one a tiny promise of something beautiful that has already been fulfilled. Everything is quiet now. Everything is still. The observatory has settled into its deepest calm, the way a lake settles after the last ripple has crossed its surface and disappeared, leaving nothing but smoothness, nothing but depth, nothing but the perfect, undisturbed reflection of the sky. Aelindra is no longer weaving. She is sitting at the loom with her hands folded in her lap, and her eyes are half closed, and the faintest smile rests on her face like the last light of sunset resting on a distant hill. She is not asleep. She does not sleep, not in the way you sleep. But she is resting in a way that is deeper than sleep, a rest that is as old as the mountains, as vast as the sky, as patient as the starlight that has been traveling toward this room since before the earth was formed. The tapestry on the loom glows with a faint, residual light, the light of all the stars she wove into it during the long, quiet hours of the evening. It is a soft glow, barely brighter than the darkness around it, and it pulses with a rhythm that is so slow, so gentle, that you cannot tell if it is pulsing at all, or if the change is only in your own perception, your own drifting, your own slow, sweet sinking into the warm dark of sleep. You are sinking, you can feel it. Not falling, sinking. Gently, slowly, the way a leaf sinks through clear water, turning this way and that, catching the light for a moment and then releasing it, turning again, drifting deeper and deeper and deeper into a warmth that has no bottom, a softness that has no end. Let yourself sink. There is nothing to hold on to and nothing you need to hold on to. The chair holds you. The room holds you. The mountain holds you. The night holds you. And beneath all of that, the great, dark, star-filled universe holds you the way it holds everything, gently, patiently, without condition, without limit, without end. Your breath is barely moving now. It is the shallowest, softest breath, a whisper of air moving in and out, like the tide in a sheltered cove where the waves are so small they are almost not waves at all. Just the gentlest, quietest pulse of water against sand, over and over endlessly, without effort, without thought. The silver patterns on the walls have gone dark. They are no longer moving, no longer glowing. They are resting too, the way everything here is resting, the loom, the threads, the tapestry, the pale stone walls, the dome above, the stars beyond. Everything is resting. Everything is at peace. And you are part of everything, woven into the same great tapestry, held by the same gentle hands, humming with the same deep, quiet note that is too low to hear, but that you can feel in your bones, in your blood, in the slow, steady rhythm of your heart. Aelindra raises one hand, slowly, so slowly, and she passes it over the loom, and the last threads of light dim and soften and fade, like candles blown out one by one in a great cathedral, each small extinction leaving the darkness a little deeper, a little warmer, a little more complete. And as each light fades, you feel yourself drift a little further, a little deeper, a little closer to the place where all lights fade, where all sounds soften into silence, where all thoughts dissolve like mist in morning sun. You are almost there, you are almost asleep, and it is good, it is right. It is exactly where you are meant to be, at this hour, in this place, in the warm, dark, star-scented quiet of the Observatory of Aelindra. The last light goes out. Not suddenly, not with any sense of loss or ending. It simply fades the way the last color fades from the sky after sunset, gradually, imperceptibly, until you cannot say exactly when it happened, only that it has happened, and that the darkness it has left behind is not empty. It is full. It is the fullest darkness you have ever known, full of warmth, full of softness, full of the quiet presence of a million stars shining in a sky you can no longer see but can still feel, pressing gently against the dome of the observatory like a hand pressed against a window, palm to palm, warmth to warmth, light to light. Aelindra is still here. You cannot see her, but you can feel her presence the way you can feel the warmth of someone sitting beside you in a dark room. She is steady and calm and ancient and kind, and she will be here all night, and all the nights after this one, tending her loom, gathering her threads, weaving the stars into patterns of such beauty that they make the universe weep with quiet joy. And you are here too. You are here in this chair, in this room, on this mountain, under this sky. And you are also there in the tapestry, woven in among the stars, your thread glowing faintly with its own particular light, its own particular color. You are part of the pattern. You have always been part of the pattern. And the pattern will go on long after this night has ended, long after 1,000 nights have ended, because that is what patterns do. They continue. They endure. They hold everything together in a web of light so fine and so strong that nothing can ever be truly lost. Your breathing is the breathing of sleep now. Long, slow, deep, unconscious. Your body has let go of everything, every tension, every weight, every memory of effort or worry or strain. You are as light as a thread of starlight. You are as warm as a candle flame. You are as still as the surface of the dark pool in the thread garden, reflecting nothing, holding nothing, simply being, simply, purely, peacefully being. And somewhere in the quiet depths of the Observatory of Aelindra, the loom begins to hum again. Very softly, very slowly. A single, low, warm note that rises from the wood and the threads and the stone and the air, and it wraps around you like a blanket, like a song, like the arms of someone who loves you, and it holds you, and it rocks you, and it carries you down, 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 into the deepest, warmest, most peaceful sleep you have ever known. The stars shine on. The loom hums on. And you sleep. You sleep, and you are held, and you are safe, and you are woven into the great, beautiful, endless tapestry of the night. Sleep now. Asleep.